Hello, friend, and welcome to another Practitioner Chat conversation. My name is Sarah Rahoviak. I'm a holistic nutrition and wellness practitioner. I specialize in women's health and wellness, women's healing, and I am very excited to be here with you on a Friday for another conversation about life and health and wellness from my perspective as a practitioner who's been doing this work for over 5 years now. Fridays are practitioner chats here on YouTube. My intention is to come to you with a video sharing with you information on past client transformations, women that I have worked with, and what it is that we did together, what their transformations were, some of the setbacks and challenges they faced, and some of the miracles that happened from the work that we do together. I also want to share with you in real time current clients I am working with, things that they are coming to me for, what we're working on, and what's happening. And I also want to share my perspective on health and wellness just from my own personal experience of someone who has been doing this work on herself for a little over a decade now, maybe about 12 years. And just from my research, just from my client work and my personal life, there's a lot that I've learned and a lot that I see missing within our conversations here in the American culture around what real health and wellness is for a woman. I am not here to talk to you about science-based evidence today from more of a research clinical perspective. I'm here to talk to you as a sister on the path, a woman that has intelligence and intuition, a woman that has done very deep healing for herself and has helped many women go through their own healing journey. And I want to share with you what I find to be a very strong root to dis-ease in my clients' lives that is not talked about. So that is what we are doing today. We are having an authentic, transparent, spontaneous conversation where that is my intention. I want it to feel like you and I are sitting together in real time. This is how I do my client sessions. It is Zoom or some kind of video conference call where we are just sitting and talking and I'm getting to know you. I'm asking you questions. I'm listening to what you're not telling me. I'm listening to what you're not feeling. I'm listening to what's beneath your awareness. And I'm helping you connect with it and pull it out and come into the present moment more. I'm helping you connect with yourself more. So I want these conversations to feel like we're just two women hanging out. I don't want it to feel, that's my intention. I want it to feel that way. So grab some hot tea. If you desire to have a cozy drink with me, let's nuzzle up on our couches. I've got my pink couch. I'm in kind of pajamas. I'm just working. I'm sick. I'm doing the best I can. So welcome. Thank you for being here. There is a root to dis-ease that women need support with that they're not getting. I can use the example of myself, just a very small conversation. This is actually something I talk about in my upcoming podcast episode, which is the Vibe Higher podcast over on Apple, iTunes, or Spotify. And it is me sharing about sex after trauma. I was sexually abused and what the journey of sex after that traumatic experience of being abused for 15 years was like before I remembered. So I was abused for the first 15 years of my life. And then at 30, I started to remember that I was abused. So that 15 years before when it stopped, the abuse stopped. And when I remembered, it was just, I had no memory. I talked to you about what my experience with sex and intimacy was like when I didn't remember, when I was with boyfriends, and then when I found my now husband, what sex with him was like before I remembered about the trauma, just the difficulties of sex being painful and scary and confusing, and my anger and aggression coming online when he would pursue me, just things I did not understand what was going on with my body in that realm. And then what happened when I started to remember about the abuse, everything made sense to why I had so many issues with intimacy, sex, and trust. And then what sex is like now, years after remembering about the abuse, years after healing deeply from it, and how amazing and pleasurable and amazing it is. And what a quality or a characteristic of health that women who are having healthy, safe, pleasurable sex are healthy women. So I want to talk, and that's in my podcast. I'll put it down below if you want to listen to it, coming this Monday. I would go to gynecologists and doctors without understanding I had trauma. I didn't know I was sexually abused. I didn't know. It was suppressed. I would go to them because I would have pain during sex. Like it would hurt. It did not feel good at all. It hurt. And I didn't know what was going on. So I started to fear sex. I did it out of thinking I needed to or my boyfriend would leave me. It was something I thought I had to do. Like it was just something you do. But it hurt. It hurt a lot and I didn't understand why. And I didn't have anyone to talk to about why does this hurt me? Like, why does it hurt? If everyone does this and it's supposed to feel good, why does it not feel good for me? What's wrong with me? So I'd go to these gynecologists, several. I'd go to the doctors and I would tell them what was going on. And all I got told was you should get on birth control. And that was infuriating to me. So I'm like, how does that help you understand what's going on though? And they're like, well, it's going to help with the symptoms. It might. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's causing it in the first place? That's what I want to understand. And then what's it going to do? And then what? You want me to be on this forever? What's the point of that? So I was frustrated because I was genuinely seeking support. I was asking about something that was really uncomfortable to ask about. And I was getting told to just get on birth control. I had no one genuinely interested in me. I had no one interested in getting to know me and how long this was happening and what was going on. And has it been like this all the time? And is it in all the positions? Is it certain positions? Are you ever in a place of wanting it and it still hurts? Or is it just when you don't want it and it hurts? Like, tell me more about it. I didn't have anyone that was genuinely interested in me. And that was difficult because not only did I not know what was going on and I was trying to seek help from professionals, but I felt so alone and uncomfortable and insecure and scared. And I didn't have anyone curious about me. And come and behold, is that how you say that? My husband always makes fun of me for metaphor, or not even metaphors, for saying things. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I don't even know how to articulate it. I'm trying to think right now what I'm saying, what I'm thinking right now. Okay, anyways, returning to the story. So I've had women that have come to me they've had polyps and thought they were scheduled to go get a surgery. They've been infertile for pretty much 9+ months now. So we're in the territory of we're classifying you as infertile. And she's not able to get pregnant and she's got these polyps and she thinks that she schedules the surgery, which is like just before the 3 months with me is over. And we're working together. We're talking about her life. We're talking about her. We're getting to know who she is. We're working on her nutrition. We're realizing she's eating candy at work and eating things at work that aren't really working. We're noticing her diet needs to improve. Like, I do the work with diet and lifestyle, behavior changes. I help educate you on nutrition. I do a meal plan. I do a meal log. I have you track what you're eating. I give you feedback on what's going on. I create a meal plan for you specifically with what you've got going on. And I work with you to help improve your lifestyle. But in conjunction with that, I'm working with you on the relationship you have with yourself, how you feel about yourself. And so many women that come to me feel horrible things about themselves. They're hurting. They're hurting and they're taking that hurt out on themselves and they're picking themselves apart. They are degrading themselves. They're belittling themselves. They're picking at themselves. They're picking themselves apart. They are their worst bully. And they hate it and they don't know how to stop. So what I do is, yes, we're working on diet and lifestyle, but I need to understand what's happening in your world. And I want you to learn about what's going on in your inner world. The invisible world of you as a woman is far more important to address before the physical things going on with you, if possible. If possible. So this woman and I are working together. We're working on her diet. We're improving her stress because women are stressed out. Women are so stressed out, overworked, undersupported. They've got too much going on and their body's just like, what is this life of this much stress and this much hustle and the constant 24-hour cycle that I'm supposed to just be the same version of myself every day? But actually, I'm a hormonal woman who's different every day. So we started to work with her on her relationship with herself and a space for her to explore her truth and her emotions. And before the 3 months was up, she got pregnant, did not need to get the surgery, and is a super fulfilled, happy mother now. That's the holistic healing work we're doing. I have another woman that I'm working with. She has PMDD, IBS. She has anxiety, bipolar disorder. She's got a few other things going on as well. And I'm working with her on supporting her with many of the things she wants help with. diet change, behavior change, lifestyle change, getting into a routine, liking herself, improving intimacy with her partner. Now, I've worked with this woman years and years ago, and I'm working with her again. We've been on and off for a couple years now. And she's in such a better place now than where she was. It's so exciting when women do this work and they are just healthy and in healthy relationships, because she wasn't in a healthy relationship before. And that's what we needed to work on, was her relationship with herself. And this woman has all of these disorders going on. And none of these practitioners, medical doctors, that are telling her and diagnosing her with bipolar or with ADHD or with PMDD, like none of these people are supporting her with, tell me more about you. What's going on with you? This sounds like you are very out of harmony. You're out of alignment with yourself. What's going on here? They just prescribe things. They diagnose things. There's a time and place for that, but not in all cases. So I'm getting to know this woman, and come and behold, she has been sexually abused by someone she knew and trusted. And the detriment to a woman who's been violated by someone she trusted is magnificent. When she suppresses the fact that that happened to her, she suppresses the fear, the confusion, the guilt, the embarrassment, the shame, the pain, and the rage that she feels that this happened to her and no one believes her. And she holds that in. She's damming the energy channel of her expression. That will always make a woman sick. Always. That is what we need to talk about and look at before we start diagnosing you with all of these issues and trying to give you prescriptions that you're going to be on for the rest of your life. That's not healing. That's not healing. So I worked with this woman, and I supported her with helping pull it out of her, helping her story come to light, helping her address the pain that she was living in, this relationship she was out of alignment with, this workplace that was extremely toxic. And she's so familiar with overwhelm and toxicity and stress because that's what's going on in her body. Because when you swallow your truth, when you swallow your emotions, when you hide who you are, you get really sick. You get really sick. You feel so unwell, and you know intuitively something's wrong. You know, you're that tapped in. You at least know something's wrong. So we start lifting this pain. I give her a space to process her emotions. Hold on, my throat is getting super sore. I need a sip of my tea. She also had an overactive thyroid. And we just did a comparison to, she had 18 symptoms going on, just related to her thyroid. 18 symptoms of an overactive thyroid. She now only has 8 of them. We're improving because we're facing grief. We're feeling grief. We're feeling the emotions she never had help feeling. We're providing a space where her story is valid. We're providing a space where she has someone helping her explore her life, process her life, process what she's been through, process what hurt she's endured, process the confusion, the betrayal, the hurt. And simply by allowing her truth to come up, her story to come out, her voice to come up, and her emotions to start to flow, giving her permission to take up space, giving her permission to talk, giving her permission to be savage in what she wants to say because she can't say it in her real life. One of the things I do with all of my clients is when she's struggling to say the thing that is inside of her, that she's experiencing, I will tell her, if I gave your mind a microphone right now, and it said exactly what it was thinking, and you did not stop it or filter it or monitor it at all. If I gave your mind a microphone, what would it tell me right now? And that's an uncomfortable experience for her because nobody's asking her what's really going on with her. Nobody's exploring her. As soon as she gets the wall up, as soon as her resistance goes up, if someone does attempt any kind of connection, if her resistance and walls go up, people are like, okay, I'll back off. Nobody's like, I'm not afraid of your walls. I'll lean in a little more. I'm curious. Tell me more. What's going on? And that's what she needs. She needs help having somebody guide her into her world and discover what it is she does not understand. And so many women I work with do not feel safe enough to be themselves. And if you are one of those women where you are withholding your voice, withholding your truth, withholding your opinion, withholding your perspective to keep the peace, to not start conflict, to avoid something, if you're keeping it in because you're afraid, you're anticipating something's going to happen if you're going to be yourself, you're anticipating judgment, criticism, harm, abuse, you're anticipating something bad is going to happen, you're anticipating someone's going to leave, you anticipate you're going to want to leave if you open up and be your true self. There's so much fear driving your system, overriding your system. And if you're a woman in chronic fear and chronic stress and chronically not being true to yourself, you will feel sick, you will be sick, and your body will start to show you through alarm systems and symptoms that something's not right. Something is not right. I have a client who was diagnosed with PCOS and hyperthyroidism. What are we looking at? I look at the energy areas of where these organs are, something's going on. We have this area. We have the throat. We have the thyroid. We have the throat. I'm not looking at, oh, wow, you have symptoms of hyperthyroidism. Let me give you something for that. I'm looking at, what are you not saying? What are you not talking about? What are you not letting out? What's stuck here spiraling? What's stuck here vibrating that's causing physical problems? You have PCOS. What happened in your hip area? Reproductive area. Did something happen there? What's going on? Why does that area have something going on? So I'm always curious on let's look more, tell me more about what's going on here. So hypothyroidism, this one has hypothyroidism. Gosh, my nose has been so itchy. Last week, and we talked about this in Practitioner chat, last week I supported this woman with realizing and accepting and acknowledging that there was a very strong emotion present that she wasn't feeling, and it was sadness, and it was outside of her body. So at first it was a conversation on, is there an emotion here? And then she said, yes, I think sadness. And I explored it with her. Is it in your body? Is it outside of your body? And she said it was outside of her body. And I asked her what would happen if you invited it in. So she welcomed in the emotion. She felt it. It integrated, and she had so much energy and aliveness and joy and vibrancy coming from her because she unblocked something invisible in her body. That is what we need to do. Women need to unblock the invisible inside of themselves. It's just as real as the physical, if not what drives the physical. When women suppress their emotions, they'll feel confused because the wisdom and the intelligence that comes from metabolizing the emotion does not land, does not integrate. Your emotions are here to inform you. They're here to guide you in a way, but they're not necessarily what I want you to be taking action from always. Because your emotions might be real for you, but it might not be true to the reality of the situation you're in objectively. But they're always right for the experience you're in and the story you're telling yourself and where you're at. So we want to be in relationship with our emotions and be objective about our emotions and be curious about our emotions. We want to feel them. We want to feel them. The number one thing I help women do is feel the emotions they don't realize they're not really feeling, and I help them feel it because I can feel it. I can feel what you're not feeling. It's very clear to me what you're not feeling. So I work with you in conversation. We start talking about stuff. And if I notice that there's an emotion here that you're not feeling because you're talking, you're in your head, and then I stop you and I'm like, hold on a second. I'm noticing an emotion. Do you feel one? And if you do, then I help you go into feeling it. I provide a space for you to feel it. I guide you through it because a lot of the women I work with are scared that if they feel it, they're going to get stuck in it. It's going to be too overwhelming, too much. And it never is when you're with me. And then you learn that you're actually a lot stronger than you think you are. And you actually can feel really big emotions. You can. So women's health starts with energy. It starts with the relationship she has with herself, and it starts with how true she is to herself. If you are not being true to yourself, if you are hiding parts of who you are in your relationship, in your life, and you have physical problems, let's start there. Why are you not being your honest self? Why are you not being your authentic self? What do you anticipate in your mind will happen if you do? What fear is active in you? And then what's happened in the past that we haven't fully processed and metabolized that's causing you to show up in this immediate moment as a version of yourself you don't love? Let's talk about that. The difference between therapy, I've had a few clients say like, I told my friends I'm going to see my therapist today. And I'm like, I need you to know I'm not your therapist. I'm not a therapist. I am a holistic practitioner of the healing arts. I'm a coach. And I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to hear you. And I'm here to reflect truth back to you. A lot of people don't get truth. A lot of people are agreeable. A lot of people are in people-pleasing tendencies. A lot of people don't want to be conflicting with their thoughts and their opinions. A lot of people will go with what you say. And I don't just go with what you say. I reflect back to you what I'm hearing. I reflect back to you things that doesn't make sense to me. I reflect back to you outside perspective about the story you're stuck in. Because the story you're telling yourself is driving how healthy you are or not. And if you have unprocessed trauma, that's an unprocessed, incomplete loop that's playing in your mind and in your body that will keep happening through self-abuse or abuse of other until you heal the trauma you haven't healed yet. And we need to heal the trauma. We need to complete what you haven't processed from your path so you're present, not distracted, dissociated, ADHD, I can't pay attention to what's going on. We need to talk about what have you not processed in your history that needs your full attention and your integration of it so that you can be present in this moment without distraction of whatever's going on in your body. Do you have ADHD? Or do you have unprocessed energies and emotions in your past, in your body from your past that need your full attention so you can clear the noise inside and then be present and pay attention? I don't know. I thought I had ADHD. My therapist thought I had ADHD. But I did not. It was all of my undiagnosed, unprocessed, unsupported, incomplete traumas that did not get healed that was causing me to be dissociated and fragmented and confused and scattered and ungrounded and all over the place because I was out of alignment. We have to metabolize. Think of metabolizing food, physical food. We have to metabolize food to then integrate it into our bodies and take it in for cells and our health and for our well-being. We need to do the same thing for the invisible things that we are digesting and metabolizing as well. You need to metabolize and digest conversations you're having with people, behaviors from people, things going on in your life. You need to process and digest your emotions. If my client is very sick, doesn't have an appetite, is not feeling well, it's just like, I don't feel good, I will tell her to take a day off from eating, drink herbal tea, drink water and electrolytes, lemon water, and process the energetic debris that you are not feeling. And watch your appetite come back after you've cleared some of the stress stored in your gut, the invisible weight of your life. And watch you feel better after 24 hours of a break. You cleared some stuff, you've processed some things in your mind, and you're more aligned, and then things start flowing better. Women are energetic, fluid beings. We need to allow the energy of our emotions, the energy of our truth, and the energy of our voice to have a space to come out. If women have not processed their past and processed what they've been through or even what they're going through, and it's just spiraling inside them and causing them havoc, it's just causing havoc on their system, they're going to find that they're not able to be the version of themselves in their present moment that they want to be, and they're going to think something's wrong with them. And no matter what they do and no matter how hard they try, they just can't seem to do the things they want to do or start the goals and finish the goals that they desire. They just cannot seem to be who they want to be because you cannot. You're not in your truth. You're operating from a mask. You're operating from survival mode. And if you're in survival mode, you're not in control of yourself fully. If you're in survival mode, if you're chronically stressed and in survival mode and your nervous system's like, check out, girl, I got you. I'll run the show because something happened and you left. I got it. If you don't reclaim control of yourself and reclaim power in your presence by coming into what it is you ran from in the first place, you will be driven by things mysteriously within you that cause you to do things you don't want to do, like food you can't stop eating. I've worked with several women with eating disorders. I have had massive eating disorders in the past. Severe drug addictions to the point where I was actually having cognitive decline because I was doing so many drugs. I didn't know I wasn't feeling. I didn't know I had problems. I didn't know I had trauma. I didn't know. I just, something was wrong. Something was wrong. Something was wrong. And nobody knew. They wanted to remove my gallbladder because something was wrong with me. You're just going to remove parts of my body because you think that that's what's going on. It's something deeper. When I went to school to become a holistic nutrition and wellness practitioner, I learned about diet, changing people's lives, helping them with behavior change. I wasn't super successful when I started working with people because people were not able to make the changes. And I started to question, like, what am I missing here? I have all the information, they have all the knowledge, but they're not doing it, or they can't commit to it. Why? Why can't they commit? Excuse me, tea break. And then I found the path of trauma, emotions, nervous system dysregulation, limiting beliefs, subconscious beliefs. And I started to learn about the invisible world that drives and influences the physical world. So I started to learn that if a woman is in a poor relationship with herself, if she doesn't trust herself because she's been violated by those that she did trust, so now trust does not exist. Now she lives in fear and she's familiar with toxicity. Why is she going to start choosing things that are healthy for her if that is not what she knows to be familiar based on what she's experienced, based on what she's been conditioned to believe and feel? So I started to notice some of the root causes to why women were not changing and healing and becoming greater and pursuing their goals was because of how they felt about themselves, was because of the negative, judgmental, criticizing relationship they had with themselves, was because they had negative self-talk, they had negative beliefs, because they had something done to them that they had never had a space to really process. And so they're showing up in their lives as this dysregulated, imbalanced version of themselves without any awareness on like why they can't make the changes, but then just getting mad at themselves because they can't seem to change. And judgment and anger towards yourself when you can't change or be the version of yourself you want to be because you're confused is really your body's way of protecting itself from feeling how lost and scared you really feel because you just don't understand what's going on. And the only way you're going to heal and the only way you're going to open up is with understanding of your story and your history and your past, opening up and being your true self. That's the only way it's going to work. It's the only way that you're going to be healthy. It's the only way that this is going to matter is if you start opening up and sharing your story and reliving what you've been through and being yourself, owning your story, remembering what happened to you, healing from the grief, healing from the hurt, healing from the betrayal, healing from the mistrust. And when you can heal the relationships that violated you, harmed you, betrayed you in your past, that were not enough for you, that you did not deserve, and you stop believing something is wrong with you and you start understanding, oh, I can see why this is happening because that happened to me. I can see why this is happening. That makes sense. When you can understand yourself, when you understand why things are happening the way that they are, when you understand why you're in survival mode in the first place, which is a good thing because you needed it when it came online. When you can understand why and you make sense to you, then you can have compassion. And then you can soften the grip of fear and anxiety, and then you can heal because you can open up. A woman is like a flower. She's a delicate rosebud. And that flower is going to be wound up real tight if the environment she's in is not safe enough for her to open up and blossom. And most women are locked up. They're guarded, protecting themselves, and they're locked up. And a woman will never be healthy when she is in that place. I will stand by that. I don't believe that a woman can be healthy if she is fully locked up and not being herself. If you have health problems and you can't seem to change into the woman you want to be, and you don't love who you're being in your life, and you don't resonate with what's going on in your life because of what you've attracted from where you are, we need to help get you to the point of helping your system grow into opening a little bit more so that more nutrients and more health and more life force and more God can come in and help you heal and repair. But if you're locked up, we can't reach you. And when you're locked up, you're going to feel lost and scared and alone and unseen and unheard and unfulfilled and unhappy. But no one's going to be able to reach through and reach you, because you have to find you. You have to connect with you. We have to connect. You must find yourself from the moments you separated, from the moments you left the moment. And when you can connect with yourself again, that's when healing can happen. And that's when your health issues and health concerns and health problems might dissipate. Because I've seen it again and again. Breathe with me. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. One more. Breathe into your belly. Breathe out of your nose slowly. I would like you to know, as a practitioner friend on the journey, that it is okay to be right where you are. It's okay to be right where you are. It's okay to be feeling what you're feeling. It's okay to be where you are. It can change if you want it to. If you really want to commit to the healing work, the processing work, and the change. The reason most women do not make it all the way through their change is because if you're here and you're trying to get over here and you start moving and now you're not where you were, but you're not where you're going, you're in this in-between space, the liminal space, the in-between, and you're not grounded and you're not stabilized and you don't have wellness and health and nutrition supporting you through this really weird, uncomfortable transition, you're going to go right back to where you started because it's more familiar and comfortable and less overwhelming. Seemingly, because it's more overwhelming staying stuck where you are than it is growing into the truth of who you are, which is always evolving. So I hope that you gained from today's message the importance of not swallowing who you are anymore. I hope you gained a little bit of insight and courage to realizing that it's more detrimental to your health if you swallow, any part of who you are, your truth, any part of who you are. If you swallow it and put it right back down, you're choosing ill health and you're sacrificing your radiance. Become aware of that choice. Every time you choose not to be you, you are sacrificing your radiance. You are sacrificing your health. You're sacrificing your well-being. And it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Become aware of that choice. And maybe through that awareness, you'll start to find some courage and bravery to start to make a different choice by leaning into expressing and talking and letting out what's there, even if it makes you shake, even if it makes you cringe, even if it brings you into sweating, even if you convulse a little bit, even if your voice cracks, even if it does anything that's uncomfortable, it's better than swallowing your health and radiance. I hope that this can inspire you in a real way, that you can have so much more in life if you simply face your fears and you speak up about what you're going through and you talk to somebody about what you're going through and you feel the emotions you're not feeling really, and you process your life. You really process and digest the energy material from your life. And you come more into your intelligence and your strength and your power as a woman. And then you finally get to feel the gift of who you are, the medicine of who you are, simply because you are you. You'll really know what that feels like. You'll be in a loving relationship with yourself. You'll like yourself. You'll love yourself. You'll be kind to yourself. You'll treat yourself very well. That is where I want to see you move. It's worth it to track the uncomfortable, scary, overwhelming path of the unknown to get there. You are worth that. If you want guidance and support, I've got 2 ways that you can do it. You can join my Seedlings membership. It's a personal development healing space for women wanting to grow into who they are, wanting to heal from chronic stress, wanting to heal from the survival mode and open up, like really learn to open up. Or you can work with me one-on-one. I do single sessions, or I do a program called Growth Accelerator, where we work together every week in a session for 3 or 6 months. And then we are in constant dialect and conversation between our sessions. We have an open private chat together. So I am with you every step of the way if you want deep support in changing and healing. Miracles happen there, just saying. I will leave the information for both down below. And I will see you next Friday for another practitioner chat, where you get to talk all things wellness, honesty, transparency of what it means to be a woman and how to be the best, healthiest version of yourself. Please like this video if you gained something from it. If you enjoyed it, subscribe so you don't miss my upcoming video, and go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what you took away from today. I would really love to hear from you on, did anything resonate? Did you learn anything today? I'll see you next Friday.